That title alone might make your chest tighten, because if you're watching these, you probably didn't expect to be doing this part alone. Whether you're a solo parent, partnered but unsupported, or just realizing your village isn't showing up the way you hope, you're in the thick of it. And while the load is heavy, your healing still matters. Let's talk about what recovery looks like when it's just you and the baby, and how you can do this with structure, not just survival mode. You've probably asked yourself, how am I supposed to rest if I'm the only one here to do everything? Rest doesn't mean sleeping for hours uninterrupted. When you're recovering alone, rest becomes micro moments. Sitting while folding clothes, reclining during feedings, skipping unnecessary errands. The bar for what counts needs to move, not because you're giving up, but because your environment demands it. Your nervous system doesn't recover from stress with sleep alone. It needs regular downshifts. Even 5 to 10 minutes of intentional stillness can help regulate cortisol and support healing. Think of it like refueling mid-flight, not waiting for a full landing. You're not failing if you can't nap. You're adapting. Let's redefine rest as something you build into your day, not something you have to chase. There's this unspoken pressure to stay on top of feeding schedules, growth charts, pump routines, and suddenly your body is an afterthought. Feeding the baby is vital, of course, but so is feeding you, nutritionally and emotionally. That might mean a warm meal instead of a cold coffee, or taking 5 minutes to stretch rather than folding one more load. Low blood sugar, nutrient depletion, and constant adrenaline all impact your healing trajectory. Prioritizing whole meals, hydration, and breaks for deep breathing can reduce inflammation and support uterine healing. The baby's thriving matters, of course, but so does yours. Nourishment is not optional just because no one's checking in on you. Consider this your check-in. If your brain feels full by 8 in the morning, you're not imagining it. It's not just what you do. It's what you're managing mentally. When you're alone, you're not just a caregiver. You are the scheduler, the supply manager, and everything else that you can think of. That's what we call the mental load. And it builds fast, creating small, repeatable systems like, let's think of example. Setting out the baby's items the night before or rotating the same 3 meals can reduce decision fatigue. High mental load keeps your body in a low-grade stress state. That affects your hormone regulation, digestion, and even incision healing. Predictability, even in tiny doses, helps stabilize your recovery environment. You don't need a color-coded planner, just a rhythm. One less decision today can mean more capacity tomorrow. All right, quick pause. If you're still pregnant and want to feel actually prepared for postpartum before the baby comes, I made something special just for you. It's called the Simply Postpartum, and it's a free step-by-step planning guide to help you set up your recovery space, define your support, and prepare emotionally for those first few weeks. You'll find checklists, reflection, and prompts, even scripts to help you ask for help without the guilt. Because winging it shouldn't be the only option. The link to download is right below this video. It's humbling to realize the people you know would help, aren't, or can't, or don't know how. Support might not come from your inner circle, but it can come from surprising places. A neighbor dropping off a meal, a virtual mom group, a nurse's voice on YouTube. Don't discount what doesn't look like a movie version of help. Study shows that perceived support, even just feeling like someone understands what you're going through, improves postpartum mental health outcomes. Sometimes emotional validation and informational support are just as stabilizing as hands on deck. It's okay to grieve the absence of the help you hope for. But don't stop there. Look for what is available. Let support come in the form it shows up. When it's just you, the days blur and you can start to feel invisible, like you've disappeared into your to-do list. You need one thing that belongs to you: a short walk, a journal, a recovery roadmap you follow each week, something that reminds you, I'm still in here and I matter. Postpartum identity shifts are harder in isolation. Having a small, consistent practice tied to your recovery helps ground you neurologically and emotionally. Think of it as a touchstone, a signal to your brain that you're rebuilding, not just reaching. You're not being selfish for protecting one part of your day. You're being wise. Healing requires space, even just a sliver of it. Doing postpartum without help is hard, and it's okay to name that. But hard doesn't mean hopeless. What you're doing is incredibly demanding, and still, you showed up here seeking clarity, support, and structure. That's not desperation. That is leadership. That is intention. And it's exactly what recovery needs. If this video spoke to you, check out this video next. You will learn why it feels so hard to delegate and how to ask support clearly without guilt or awkwardness. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Your postpartum journey deserves structure, strength, and compassion. And you're already taking powerful steps just by being here. If today's video clarified or encouraged you, I'd love for you to subscribe and join this growing community of moms redefining recovery. And if you're ready for deeper support and a full recovery framework designed with your real life in mind, you'll find more details right below. I'm Sherry, and I will see you in the next one.